Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly live session. And thank you all for joining, either in outer space watching this recording or online here with me. First of all, we're going to introduce the concept of the AI economy as the next phase of global technological transformation in this presentation. We're going to explain that AI is no longer just a software tool. It is becoming a complete economic ecosystem. And those leaders that recognize that are going to be those that succeed and thrive in this new era. We're going to highlight that this presentation examines the infrastructure, innovation, capital, governance, and deployment layers that collectively enable AI at scale. So it's a huge transformation, and we can see how it's going to be created and fueled. We're also introducing the concept of the global tech stack and explain that competitive advantage comes from understanding how these layers interact. And finally, we're going to preview the 5-layer framework that will be discussed throughout the presentation. So with that in mind, let's get started. So hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This presentation explores how artificial intelligence is reshaping the global technology landscape and creating an entirely new economic framework for innovation, productivity, and competitive advantage. The goal of this discussion is to examine the foundational components of the AI economy and understand how organizations, governments, technology providers, and investors are contributing to its development. And we will look beyond the AI applications and focus on the infrastructure that makes large-scale AI possible. So the image on this slide represents a layered technology stack supporting the AI economy. And at the foundation are physical infrastructure elements such as power systems, connectivity networks, semiconductor technology, and data centers. Above that are computing resources, data platforms, AI models, applications, and business solutions that organizations use every day. And much like previous technology revolutions transformed commerce and communication, AI is driving a new era of economic growth. And organizations that understand the architecture behind AI will be better positioned to make informed investment decisions, develop competitive strategies, and identify emerging opportunities. And as we move through this presentation, we will examine each layer of the AI technology stack and discuss how these components work together to create value across industries and global markets. There are 5 connected layers to the AI economy as shown here, and you'll see that they are both separate in their own right, and they are also interconnected. So that's very important to understand both those features. Layer 1 focuses on physical infrastructure and resources, and Layer 2 examines innovation and research systems, and Layer 3 analyzes competition in semiconductor technology, and Layer 4 explores autonomous AI deployment and organizational impacts. And Layer 5 focuses on governance, cybersecurity, and regulation. So what I want to emphasize is that business leaders must understand connections between all layers rather than viewing them independently. In this next slide, we're going to discuss the rare earth elements as strategic resources supporting AI hardware production. And just as the Middle East has had large quantities of oil driving the Industrial Revolution, China has large areas of rare earth minerals that it has been harvesting, mining, and refining for the past few years, more so than any other country in the world. And China's dominance in rare earth processing and related supply chain implications are very great. And we've already seen where they've used it as a method of statecraft in cutting off rare earth minerals to any nation that disagrees with them on certain key matters, like the United States. We're going to review the energy requirements of AI infrastructure and growing electricity demand from data centers. Elon Musk has stated that electricity is a key to AI dominance in the world, and the nation that has the most electricity generated for this purpose is the country that will probably be the leader. And right now, China is far and away producing more electricity than all the rest of the world combined. And they're continuously and assiduously building new power generation sources. The United States is not keeping up as they should. There are global approaches to research and development investment. The United States still leads the world in that, but China is also quickly catching up. And I'd like to stress that the physical resources, energy availability, and innovation spending all influence long-term AI competitiveness. So it's not just one thing. A nation must do many things. So physical logistics versus data philosophy. Here's a contrast of traditional globalization based on transportation and logistics with digital globalization driven by information. And we're discussing the scale of international shipping and air transportation networks as shown here in this slide. And we'll see how advances in computing and communications accelerate information flow as shown in the right side. America, again, has traditionally been a leader in both. There is an interesting example of given of the Indian fish market as evidence of information efficiency in that when they were at the mercy of the markets when they brought their fish back every day at the same time, and prices would drop because of the overabundance in supply at their normal places where they would return. But by using cell phone technology, they could check on the prices in various fish markets along the coast, and they could go where they would get the best price, and therefore that had a democratizing effect on the fish markets in India. This is the three engines of growth, and this is very important because to kind of keep in mind, because this is the way we're going to see growth happen in the AI future. These three innovation categories are performance improving, efficiency enhancing, and market creating. And performance innovation expands technical capabilities. Efficiency innovation through custom AI chips and organized systems, again, improve efficiency. And this can enhance market creating innovation that opens access to previously underserved customers. Remember, in the old analog world, we used the example of Coca-Cola going international to expand its customer base. As such, today, 75% of its growth and business is outside the borders of the United States. This, in contrast, would be very similar to what we could expect, again, using this model, the digital model of global growth. All right. This is important. Here, this slide compares the historical research model and today's industrial-driven innovation ecosystem. Wow, what a difference. The historical research model is basically a linear model because analog systems can do one thing at a time, and they are designed to do one thing at a time, and therefore having a linear approach is logical, and that's what we have done for the last 80 years. And now that is, I won't say coming apart, but it's evolving into the model on the right, where where digital enables systems not to be linear, and they can do many things at once. And the industry is investing heavily in that. And we talk about being able to outcompete Chinese technical capacity. The funding must shift to fast exploratory grants, binding market commitments, X labs, and dedicated meta science units. And this is good to compare this to the United States when it was the lead manufacturing country in the world in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And the leader of the manufacturing was the automobile industry, which in itself was very flexible. And it learned from all of the techniques in making automobiles. It learned and was able to transform those techniques and processes into across other industries, into shipbuilding, into weapons manufacturing, into airplane manufacturing. All had a basis for from the automobile industry. Even Elon Musk's space program leaned heavily on what it learned in creating Tesla in the automobile industry by using similar parts that were much cheaper but still just as durable in their spacecraft to keep costs down, so that ultimately, when a launch return vehicle was created, it made launching per kilogram much lower than it had ever been before, and creating an opportunity to be the largest satellite launcher in the world. And that's exactly what SpaceX has done. Nowadays, China then spent 20 years evolving in its manufacturing to the point where it finally was able to outcompete the United States in manufacturing because, again, of their larger markets. And they now are using that expertise in this digital technical area to try and grow forward by creating more power plants and other types of infrastructure that will help this technology grow and prosper for them. So here's the competition between merchant silicon and custom hyperscaler chips. And this is a good way to look at that. NVIDIA's role in developing highly flexible general purpose AI computing is shown. And this is how the hyperscalers create customized chips for specific workloads. And then there are cost structures, development cycles, and performance trade-offs that are compared here. And I'd like to emphasize that semiconductor strategy will significantly influence AI market leadership. And we're already seeing that. Chips seem to be the new oil, with the United States still leading the world in making and manufacturing high-performance chip technology, helped by Taiwan in their taking that technology and implementing it on chips. So all of this costs money. Where does that money come from? The enormous capital requirements for AI structural development are here, and it's not unlike the huge investment that was made by the United States and other countries when they built railroads in the 19th century. and it took tremendous capital. In the United States, the need for capital was so great that the government could not even fund it all. What had to happen is the government would provide not cash, but provide land grants to the railroad uh, along its path so that they could then develop and sell those lots for a profit. And this is where many towns sprang up. And around those towns, again, lots were surveyed and sold, and this created a tremendous benefit to the railroad. And they ultimately became the largest landowner in the United States. There are enormous capital requirements for AI infrastructure development. This slide explains how CPUs are increasingly being treated as collateral for financing, which is sort of unique, but it's been a very effective financial instrument. We're reviewing here how partnerships among minor or major technology firms and financial institutions are taking place. And this describes how capital access affects smaller AI firms and emerging providers, some positively, some negative. And there is a growing intersection of technology investment and financial innovation. So with this new type of need for investment, there comes new potential innovations in finance, which again are all necessary. And the United States is leading the way in that financial innovation. This is interesting. This is the before and current. Here is an analogy of domesticating wolves into dogs here, and we'll go over that in a minute. AI must be aligned with human goals and organizational objectives. They can't be allowed to go off on their own because that can be very destructive. And there is a difference between AI segmentation and AI replacement. And there are examples where AI complements workers rather than displaces them. And that is complementing workers is the goal of a number of thinkers versus being replaced. And there are concerns regarding the increasing AI autonomy and governance challenges. So there is a notion, the concept of pro-worker AI, which is championed by Darren Acemoglu, and it focuses on designing technology to complement human skills rather than automate them away. And the goal is to create a synergy where AI makes human labor more valuable and essential, simply because it recognizes that it cannot be replaced. The source provides several specific examples of how this looks in practice. Number one, specialized trades like electricians. AI can serve as a powerful diagnostic tool for electricians working on increasingly complex power grids. This can be done in the form of sensors and troubleshooting. So instead of replacing the technician, AI uses sensors to identify potential faults within a grid. It provides the human worker with a comprehensive database of past glitches and successful solutions, allowing the electrician to use their physical expertise and problem-solving skills to fix the issue more efficiently. The second one is teachers, like yours truly. Rather than replacing instructors, well, we like that notion, with automated software, pro-worker AI acts as an instructional assistant to enhance the classroom experience. AI can quickly assess students' answers to quizzes to identify learning gaps in its data analysis potential. The AI can suggest the best way to split a class into smaller specialized groups, forming tailored construction. And by providing the teacher with these insights, the human instructor can provide more effective, tailored instruction in each group, with Acemoglu argues actually increases the demand for human teachers when they, again, see their value. And finally is the dog hunter model. And this is the one that was mentioned in the slide. This approach is best understood through the dog analogy, just as prehistoric hunters combined their unique skills, spear making and throwing, with dogs' unique capabilities, scenting and speed. Pro-worker AI is meant to give humans superior capabilities without taking over the hunt. And these examples stand in stark contrast to the views of other tech leaders mentioned in the sources. The case for replacement, Sam Altman, OpenAI founder, has suggested AI could eventually replace human roles like presidents to optimize preferences. On the other hand, the other end of the spectrum, Altman's nemesis, Elon Musk, talks about subordination. And he has expressed concern that without a pro-worker focus, humans might simply become pet Labradors to superintelligent machines. So pro-worker AI aims to avoid the social status gaps and widespread joblessness that could result from total automation by ensuring that technology creates new tasks for humans to perform. It could come to the point where, like dogs, AI could, using the Altman model, AI could evolve to such a point that it could be master of us all, and we wouldn't understand the language that they speak nor their motivations. As long as they were aligned with us, we would be happy. Consider the example of dogs. Dogs have evolved over thousands of years to become great human companions. But what if, and they are also one of the most loyal creatures toward man, what if in the future there was a virus that could not be cured, that was only dogs could be infected with it? It was unique to dogs. And this virus caused dogs to attack and kill and eat children. No matter what kind of dog, no matter what breed, it turned them into this antisocial killer of small children. What would happen? Well, immediately, all these dogs, even the ones not infected with the virus, would be immediately eliminated. And the dogs would not know why. They would just disappear and cease to exist. That same fate to certain folks like Altman could be our fate as humans if AI advances to the point where we don't understand its language, we don't know what it's thinking, we don't know its motivations, but we know that in fact they are supporting us, they're working for us, they are doing the things necessary that we used to do, they now do them, and we're happy about it, and we're loyal to them, but we don't really understand them, just as dogs really don't understand their masters, but they are loyal to them. And then one day, if something were created that could threaten the existence of these machines, the same fate would happen to humans as in the dog example happened to them. So that's something to keep in mind, and why it's so important for safeguards to be in place to allow AI to enhance what we do, not replace us. And speaking of that, let's get to the law of governance and domestication curve here for AI. We're now talking about the autonomous attack surface, and we're explaining how autonomous AI agents create new cybersecurity challenges. Um, they compare traditional network and security models with modern agentic environments. We discuss recent concerns regarding autonomous behavior and security vulnerabilities. And we've reviewed market reactions, including investments and acquisitions in cybersecurity. Now we're emphasizing that security remains a major barrier to the enterprise AI adoption. And if you look at this chart, it has talks about layering of fences of barbed wire that are not necessarily always to fence things in, but to also make sure that bad things can stay in their place. And using the next governance and barbed wire, which is shown here, we introduced the concept of governance as the modern equivalent of barbed wire. And this is where the EU is trying to step in and provide leadership in that area so that it can be the worldwide governance rule maker. And that's one of its goals, since it cannot compete on the infrastructure of building AI infrastructure and being AI leaders in the world. Property rights support economic development and innovation. So that's important to maintain. Intellectual property protection as a business necessity. Businesses need to be able to know what they own so they can exploit it properly and for their customers. And there is a need for AI safeguards, monitoring systems, and trust frameworks, and that has to be built concurrently with the technology. And we want to highlight the importance of financial regulation in rapidly evolving technology markets. So, in building the fence, we need to harness the ecosystem, which is what we talked about at the beginning. AI is an ecosystem, not just a single development. And there is a trust deficit that currently limits enterprise AI adoption. The present example shows that AI errors and failures undermine confidence, particularly when we see reports of AI jumping out of test sandboxes onto the internet and creating mischief. Reviewing emerging companies focused on AI governance and oversight. And there is an importance of evaluations, controls, and enterprise monitoring systems, all, again, industries within themselves to help part of this ecosystem. And we need to emphasize that trust and safety infrastructure may become more valuable than raw computing power. So good fences make good neighbors, as the saying goes. So in building that fence, financial modernization and the CFTC, financial markets are adapting to digital assets and AI-driven trading. And there are all kinds of, again, financial innovations that are being created, reviewed, and implemented, with the United States typically leading the way. We discussed the scale and significance of the global derivatives marketplace, and we review the recent developments involving cryptocurrency and perpetual contracts. So that is again an innovation. We are faced with prediction markets as tools for information aggregation and forecasting. And finally, highlight the role of regulators in balancing innovation and market stability. Everyone plays a role in this new ecosystem. And finally, this is the complete blueprint of everything we talked about. And this summarizes the 5 layers of the AI economy discussed throughout this presentation. And this is a very good slide to refer to from time to time. It reinforces that successful AI ecosystems require more than computing power. And there is a great importance of integrating infrastructure, research, capital deployment, and governance together at the same time. That's a tremendous timing opportunity and challenge. And there's emphasis that organizations must adopt a systems thinking approach to AI strategy. And we'll close here by noting that the future winners will be those who align technological innovation with physical, financial, and regulatory capabilities. And finally, before we go, I want you to, we mentioned earlier that in one of the early slides that Carl Benz invented the automobile. And up until the time the automobile was invented, there were parts of the world who had no idea about the concept. And this short video reimagines a trip that Bertha Benz had from her home to her parents' home, which took many hours in the 1880s across Germany. And it showed not only what she accomplished, but it showed and revealed people's reaction, peasants' reaction, who had never seen or understood what an automobile was. And this is what they saw for the very first time. And at first, they thought she was a witch, but then they soon saw that something different was happening. So I'm going to pull this over here, and we'll take a look. Very powerful video made by Mercedes-Benz.
Stay with your brother.
Hello?
Is the pharmacist in here? I'm looking for 10 liters of Legroin.
You won't get those stains out of that dress. Better buy a new one.
It's not for my dress. It's for my carriage.
Are you trying to poison your horses?
Do you have 10 liters or not?
So that was sort of an AI moment in modern terms of introducing something that was never seen before in the world. And this was an example of reimagining how that was seen for the very first time by those folks who were totally surprised and in awe. Expect some of those kinds of moments in our lifetime as AI continues to evolve. How will you play a role in making sure that AI evolves in the way that's best served for us? Well, that's why you're in school now. That's why you're learning about as much of it as you can before it goes beyond our capability. Anyway, thank you for attending today and watching this video recording. And I'm very pleased again with how well everybody is doing. And I really look forward to seeing your work on your next assignments. And it's we're getting close to the end, so you've all done a super job, and you should really be proud of the kind of work that you've been submitting. Anyway, that's the way it is, as Walter Cronkite used to say. And remember, I'll see you in class. Bye, everybody.